Alright, so this is going to be a test to see if I can get 5-player going on my Super NT. I have here my 3 8-Bitdo controllers, and they're all synced and fine. Oh, by the way, plug them in to the Super NT before you turn it on, because if you just plug them in while the game's going, or at least a game going on the SD to SNES, the whole thing just resets. It's fine, whatever. But yeah, so plug them in before you turn it on. And then these two, this is the second/guest controller I had, and it's still in okay shape. And then this is the one I always used to have in Player 1. You can see the R button's a little worn out, and you really have to press hard on the start button to get it to go. And it's a bit more yellowed than this one, because this one has had more time sitting, out in the sun, so to speak, even through through a window. So yeah, we're gonna. Oh, but you're probably wondering, don't you need a multi-tap? For that, we have a little package from Sapporo, Japan, on the island of Hokkaido. I have no idea what that says, but I think that means $200. And there's lots of info about how to close it, but I'm looking for how to open it. I'm gonna pull on this tape and see how far I get. Okay, I think we're on the right track. I'm seeing, the little slot thingy. Okay, so I've lifted the tape from the other two sides, and lift up. Nice. Well, this, I guess this air packet didn't make the trip, but this one did. We have a thing. So I took it out of the bubble wrap, and it's in another plastic sleeve. I don't know if this was brand new or something. I don't think so. Okay, it is definitely not new. It's just very well packaged. It is ever so slightly scuffed, but I don't care. This is brilliant. This has 4 controller ports on it. So you plug one in and you can be like 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's a little switch on the back here that's, let's see, you can see it's 2 players on our right and 3 to 5 on our left. So let's flip that over to 3 to 5. And should be noted, this is a Super Multitap 2. The original Super Multitap was just a straight rectangular kind of thing with your 4 slots in a row horizontally. So this is more compact, but also I've heard that this one will work with the 8-Bitdo controller adapters, whereas the Super Multitap 1 does not. So let's find out. Okay, and since I don't want to push how much console power will get to this multi-tap, I'm only going to plug in 2 8-Bitdos here. The other 2 will be wired, and I got another 8-Bitdo right off the console. And another thing is that there's actually no technical reason why you couldn't run a multi-tap in each port, and therefore have up to 8 players at once. But there's been no commercial games that go beyond 5. There's one homebrew called N-Warp Daisakusen. I'll link it in the description. That does support 5 players. No, 8 players. 8 players. That's the whole point. It's a dual multi-tap game. But that's homebrew. Commercial only goes up to 5, so you only need 1. Okay, I've turned the console on, and I'm seeing the lights flash on the 8-Bitdos, so that's a good sign. I think we might have power here. So let's pick up what I put into port 1. Do you want to work? Do I have to resync it? It's gonna. Okay, I might have to Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Just takes a minute. It's not instantaneous. Okay. One cartridge. And one game that does do 5 players is the third Super Bomberman. Just go down to that. I suppose I should be capturing this, but that's not the point. We just want to see that this works. Okay. Want a battle game. Single match. Oh, look at that. They all say, do you notice they all say man? That means it detected all 5 controllers. Okay, I like that. So let's... yeah, it's fine. Well, the comm level doesn't matter because we only got 5 players. Yeah, I'm just going to hit... Oh, okay, so I gotta... Well, I guess this is a good test. I have to pick who's going to be player 2. Do you want to work? Oh, there you go. Just takes a second to start the communication. And number 3, this is also the 8Bitdo. There we go. All right. Took a minute. And, oh, did I back out? I didn't want to do that. Okay, I have to hit start, 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 and then start these. This will be hard. Ah, come on, buddy. At least the D-pad works. I probably have to take this thing apart and deal with the... Anyway, well, let's see if... No, B didn't work. Okay, it's A to go. A to go. Start. A or start. Alright. Anyway, that's just a problem with that controller. It's not the multi-tap. Okay. Yeah, start. Okay. Alright. 3-win match. Yeah, we got our first player. Got our other player. That's player 2. Got our player 3. Got our player 4 with these are the wired controllers. And player 5. Can we lay a bomb? Yes, we can. Great. All right, so this should be all set for 5-player multiplayer. As long as I don't care about the start button on controller 5, I guess I better take it apart and see if I can fix it. But yeah, that'll be that. So we know this works. Take care. Or sayonara. Okay, I was thinking I'd have to go get a special game bit or something, and I do have some game bits lying around, or like a special teeny tiny I guess you call that a Phillips head screwdriver. But no, this was enough to fit in the hole and to get a purchase on the screw. So I'm gonna take all 5 of these out. Call me crazy, and we'll see what happens next. They're just a little bit rusty. I don't know if you can see there on the top, but the rest of the screw's fine. And this one just came right out. Still magnetized to the bit. And I bet you can guess which 2 had the rustiest tops. You get 5 seconds to guess. Okay, 1 second. Okay, that's it. Okay. So I bet you know it was this one, and that is right where your hands go. I mean, right where your, fingers are going. You get your thumbs on the D, so they're like immediately behind the D-pad and the four buttons respectively. Okay, so this is wow. This is my first look at this, and I'm looking through the camera instead of at the thing, which is maybe a little silly. Okay, that looks good. That's just all more plastic here. And I guess all the stuff I care about's on the other side. So just gonna take a closer look at this and figure out what to do. Oh, well, I can tell why the the R button never worked right. Look at this. Look at this. See? It's only got like this thing here to push on, so you had to sort of push it in on its right side, and then this side would flip up a bit. But on the other button, you see this thing here? Come on, focus. Okay, you see that? So this is like connected to it, and it keeps it from getting pushed in. So I think what happened was my stepbrother and his friend they just loved Street Fighter 2, and they would just be hammering on these things, and I think that's what happened to this shoulder button. So I wonder if I can let me just take a closer look here. Okay, yeah, it broke. I mean, this is actually attached. This is like a single piece of plastic. So I'd have to like get another R button, or I don't know, maybe it could be glued, I don't know. But yeah, and I mean this is nothing new. Again, this has been broken literally for decades. But I'm just seeing it now that it actually was in fact snapped and broken. Okay, so the whole board just slides out, and so here's the inside. We could give that a little bit of a cleaning before we. Whoops! There's the D-pad. Oh! There go the buttons. There go the. Okay, yeah. So we could clean this shiz up. But yeah. So that'll be fun. So there's one of the A-B buttons, and this is one of the XY buttons. And yeah, you can see these things were in there, and that just do what it do. And here's the board. And so this would be the start button. And yeah, it's quite a bit weaker than the select button. So maybe it's just something, but maybe it's something I could just clean. But yeah, here's the start and select. Oh, it's like it's one of those things. Somebody suggested you sand. I saw this like on a Commodore 64 keyboard. Apparently, if I just sand or rough up just the ends of this a little, it'll do the thing it's supposed to do. So it's like when you. I think what's happening is, when you're pushing a button, you're breaking a circuit. You're breaking the start and select lines. So I will. So this is a bit too much to finish tonight. This is a weeknight, but I will do some. I'm gonna actually concentrate on this for a while and not concentrate on making a video. And I'll get back to you later. Oh, hey, look, somebody's got a Super Nintendo controller on Thingiverse. Of course, I don't want the whole controller, and that'd take forever to print all that. But you can just go print a thing. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to launch that app. And then over in this window, you get all the different parts of the controller all lined up on the left. I just hit remove on everything except the thing I want, which is the shoulder buttons. Actually, I only care about one shoulder button, but they come as a pair, so whatever. So, and I'll have the other one for a spare. So here I said, okay, I want 100% infill. I want the thinnest layering so that it'll look the nicest, I guess. But of course I can't match the color, so I'll go for ABS white. And I mean, the whole Super Nintendo's made out of ABS anyway, so I think that's the best option there. So I want one of those. How come this says PLA opaque gray again? Oh, because I didn't, because I added it to the cart earlier as PLA gray. Okay, so let's do it this way. Let's see how much this is going to be. $10.92. All right, so I'm going to ring that up and have that shipped to me, and we'll continue this another day. And, you know, can that be glued? Well, maybe, but I don't know. I don't trust myself to glue it, so just going to try out the new part. And, you know, I might as well get 2 sets of buttons because the printer setup alone is $10. The material cost is comparatively puny, so I might as well get 2, maybe even more. Well, two, because I only have 2 sets of controllers anyway, so 2 sets of real Super Nintendo controllers. So, and this arrived from Florida on Tuesday the 14th. Don't forget. So I found something kind of interesting in the process of cleaning things up and keeping the parts over there. If you look at this, the inside, it's got the names of the colors of the buttons printed in English. Well, I mean, because this is like a Super Nintendo, not a Super Famicom controller. But notice that it's got a green Y button, a yellow B button, red A button, and can you see in there blue X button? And if we go and look at the Super Famicom style, or I guess the international Super Nintendo style, you have that exact same color combo. So that's really interesting. And but it also does have the lavender X and Y, yeah, and the purple A and B, like there is in North America. So that's pretty cool. All right, so I've cleaned all of these plastic parts, and just with water, Q-tip, wet paper towel, just whatever I needed to do. Getting in also to the little crevices in the front piece was the hardest, and the grimiest buttons were, of course, you get 2 seconds to guess, the Y and the B buttons. By far, the A a little less than the others, and the X the least grimy. So, yeah, so I'm just going to leave the screws and the plastic parts. I'm just going to set them aside somewhere until I get the new R button, and then I'll put it back together. And while I'm here, I'm going to just take a Q-tip and just put a little rubbing alcohol and just hit these contacts, especially this start contact, the one that's giving me trouble there. In fact, I think I can see there's it's almost like. So you can sort of see it almost looks interrupted, although I don't know enough about how these things are supposed to work. Anyway, so I'll do that and BRB. Oh wow, look at this. It's making a huge difference. I just went and rubbed that down with a little rubbing alcohol. Look at this stuff that comes off. So yeah, I'm just gonna do that. Just around these buttons, and then also on the shoulder buttons. Okay, so it's worth noting, so far the other contacts weren't nearly as dirty. So like the little bit of grayness, so this is just from the start and select buttons, and then this is everything else. So really the select and start buttons are going to probably fail before the other buttons. And you would think, oh, well, the start and select buttons aren't used as much, but it may be just that the dirt and grime gets under them more easily than the other buttons. All right, I think we're done here, so I'm just going to wipe down that little bit of cable, and then I'll put everything away, and we'll wait to get our new R button in the mail. And maybe this is a sign I should get my own 3D printer. Maybe someday. I also want to say that this little piece that goes behind the D-pad, it's starting to flake a bit. I mean, it's starting to, what do you want to call it? It's like, come on, will you focus? Okay. So I don't know if you can see, there's kind of like a dark seam there. And that's actually not that one. This one back here. You can tell it's actually starting to slice a little bit. Like there's a crack in it. So anyway, like it still works, so, or I mean, at least it was working. So I'm just gonna, maybe this is another part I should have ordered, but yeah, just gonna put it all back together. Yippee! My shoulder buttons came. Oh, somebody wrote a note. Oh, lovely. They're all ready to go. Thank you. Value. Thanks. If you have any questions about your print, you can also contact me, your printer, directly. Take care. Oh, it's very nice. Yeah, they don't color match, and I'm not entirely sure which is L and which is R, but and I got two of them because they're so the setup fee alone was $10. Two sets, I should say. Like that was one design, and that was one design. Okay, so I've gotten this back home and running the dishwasher and the washing machine, and we're gonna figure out can we put this back together challenge. And it looks like there's like a little extra, foofra on these buttons compared to the original. So I don't know if that's like a fault of the blueprint or if that's just normal for 3D printing. I didn't really look at it that closely. So, but I'll see what I can. Oh yeah, I gotta go get the board and start putting everything else back together. And shoulder buttons will be like the finishing touch. Okay, there's my board. Now I just need to remember what goes where. So one piece I was worried about was this brown thing, because when I pulled it, when I pulled out the board, it was kind of, it had, shit! Shucks! When I pulled out the board, it had the, I wonder if I should clean it again. It was just sort of sitting like that on the board. And so I'm like, oh man, how am I gonna like line that up without anything to put it in? Well, sure enough, there's a little hole right here where that's supposed to go. So that makes sense. A similar deal with this thing. I think you could go either way. Either go like this or go like this. Doesn't seem to make a difference. Might be a good idea to put the buttons in though. I should do that. And it's hard to see, but it's very, very subtly printed on the back of the buttons which button they're meant to be. Like the X and Y are slightly different. Alright, quick sanity check. Yeah, looks right. Now this piece is pretty much symmetrical, so you can stick it in any way you want. And then the pad will go on behind it. Or is it supposed to go Yeah, like this. There we go. That makes more sense. And it looks like the start select can go on either way. So it mounts to the same thing, whichever way you turn it. And then we slip the little shoulder button contact pads into their slots. Okay, and then we'll get the back part, and the metal thingies obviously go in there. And then we can take our L button and right there. Oh wait. If this is the back, then this is the L button. There we go. No, not quite. It's hard to see in 3D through a flat screen. Okay, so that button's in, but now I need to figure out which R button's going to go in the best. Here's a potential problem. The hole in these might not be thick enough. You see, it looks a little obstructed at the top, and I couldn't get the pin through it. So we'll put that in the reject pile. So let's try this one. No, too tight again. And now I don't think I can get it on stuck. If I had a hammer, I'd hammer this evening. Okay, let's make this happen. Yeah, so just a few love taps and we got her through. Okay, so with some taps back and forth, I got the pin in it where it needs to be, and it looks like there's enough space for the button to be even with that little bit of overhang. So as long as I'm okay on the top side too, I should be good. Okay, so now the board's gone back on. Alright, I think it makes more sense to put the shoulder buttons in on the top side with everything else, so try to get my new R button in on the left from this angle. Okay, so both the shoulder buttons feel like they're doing what they should be doing. It's just I'm gotta keep this down while I put the back on. Alright, I went and peeked at another video, and that's how it's supposed to go back through. Ah, boom shakalaka. We have a controller. I just have to put the screws in. And having this cord not in the right way to go out of the controller was just causing me all kinds of problems. So yeah, I got the screws in. Now you're probably wondering what this triangle-shaped shadow on the controller is. It's because I stuck like a pennant sticker on there when I was a kid. I stuck stickers on all kinds of things. So yeah, the R button is real sturdy now. And yeah, it looks like so now let's do the ultimate test. Was I even recording before? I don't know. Anyway, I've got buttons. Do I have up? I have up. Alright, let's go into this level. Start works, which was the... Oh, you don't press start to go into a level? Anyway, start worked on the menu screen, and it should work here? Yeah, okay. And select. Yeah, okay. So that's not the problem. Now... Okay, R button's fine. L button's fine. Okay, can we, spin jump? Alright. Can I X? Yeah, it looks like it. Okay, X button works. Okay, Y button. Hard to test this with one hand. Yeah, Y button works. Jump works. Okay, left, right, up, down. Yeah, we've tested all the directions. Yeah. Alright, so, yeah, I'd say we got a working controller. So that project was a success. I'll see you later.